What's going on, everybody? FJC here, back with another finals video. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about the most recent update to the finals, update 1.8.0. And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on what you think of the most recent barrel changes and how this update directly affects the competitive scene for the finals and the game itself. I want to start out by reading a part of the intro summary that I'm going to put on screen right now. It states, as promised, this update introduces some changes for nukes and snukes. Red canisters will now have the physics to make overloaded cans drop faster and take less predictable pathways. We've also removed the accidental double explosion and stacking damage from barrels with attachments. But before we continue talking about the barrels, I want to briefly go over what changes were actually made in the patch, and I'm going to go over them very quickly. And if you guys want to read the patch notes for yourself, I'm going to put the link in the description. Go ahead and check them out there. We start out with some audio changes, and in my opinion, these were definitely needed to the game. The first change being the cloaking sound will now have a different noise between enemy and friendly, so it'll differentiate between the two. Headshots will now be indicated with their own sound, and I can tell you that the sound is pretty thonky. They fixed an issue where certain sounds did not play when colliding with the environment, added a setting to control sounds when the game is not in focus. Basically, when you're tabbed out, you can now hear audio. There's a setting for that. And they fixed single fire weapons not playing their firing sound at times. I noticed that when I was shooting the LH1 really fast, the audio wouldn't play. They also made some changes to visual effects or VFX, various fixes to destruction and soul, and they added material appropriate effects to destruction on all maps. Next, we move on to the animations, where they fixed an issue where held items were unintentionally visible, fixed various issues with defibs not animating correctly, fixed an issue that caused the player mesh to break and faulty physics during revive. They added a fix for the broom not disappearing after the clean house emote, adjusted crouch animations to ensure they don't make characters clip through walls, fixed an issue where the left hand gestures would make melee animations look faulty. The auto open door when sprinting animation will now keep your weapon in view. And last but most importantly, the football grenade skin now spins correctly. Beautiful. When it comes to map changes, there was only two small map changes. The first one being on Vegas, they moved a floating zip line, specifically on Vegas Sandstorm, and they improved ambient lighting to address issues with seams between areas on all maps. When it comes to the UI, there were 5 changes made. They fixed an issue that caused the career progression page to lock when quickly switching pages via controller, corrected mislabeled career reward items. Tournament overview screen will now show the correct contestant customization. They added a fix for player to always be in the center of the team in the tournament overview screen, and fixed an issue where an item could not be immediately equipped after purchasing it in the customization screen. They also made some minor changes to voice chat. They moved the voice chat settings higher up in the audio settings tab. Players not using voice chat will now see an indication that team members are using it, which I think is really important. Added push-to-talk key binding in the voice chat menu. Fixed voice chat output volume so it's applied correctly. And lastly, they fixed an issue with voice chat privacy settings so all options are respected. And the last 3 updates that I want to talk about before we get into the main topic of the video were so minuscule, I decided to group them up together. The first change we have is for consoles. They reduced input latency on the Xbox Series X and S. For security, general security fixes and improvements, and then for general, they improved boot times on PC, so not the biggest of changes. Now we move into the main changes for this update, which we're going to have a discussion about, the gameplay and balance section. There's a couple changes here that don't really matter too much, but majority of the changes that were done here directly affect the competitive scene and the way the game is played. The first change is when a player is eliminated out of bounds and banquet, their coins will spawn on the map. Gravity and physics have been enabled on red canisters with attachments. We're going to get into more detail in that in a second here. Fixed an issue where multiple C4s would cause more damage than intended when exploding together. For example, when attached to an object, which we're also going to discuss in a second. Fixed a bug that caused jump pads to glitch when overlapped with an attached object. Fixed an issue that allowed players to cancel emotes by using quick melee. Fixed an issue where objects could hover over in the air after an attachment was destroyed. And fixed an issue where a successful backstab with a dagger now correctly shows as a critical hit. Now that all the patch notes are out of the way, I wanted to talk to you guys about 2 points within the gameplay and balance section. The first one being the gravity and physics have been enabled on red canisters with attachments. Prior to update 1.8.0, this was applied to every barrel except for the red barrels, which kind of made the red barrel the main focus for nukes. As well as what made matters worse was Embark didn't intend nukes to be so powerful, and they also stated they fixed the issue where multiple C4s would cause more damage than intended when exploding together, making the nukes way more overpowered and way more used than Embark even wanted them to be. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while and been paying attention to the patch notes videos, you'll know that I'm a firm believer that nukes should be a part of the game, but the state that it was in prior to update 1.8.0 was just way too overpowered and broken. And especially me, as somebody who has been playing light majority of the time as of recently, the amount of times that I died to nukes was so much, it got to the point where when a nuke was thrown at me and I didn't die, that I was genuinely surprised. And I really do think Embark has found a happy medium here, no pun intended. Me and the boys have been grinding ranked the past couple of days. As always, they're going to be linked in the description, but all the boys and I are extremely pleased with the new barrel changes because the barrels can actually land right on top of you and you can still survive. And prior to this update rolling out, or any updates, the boys and I always have discussions on our live streams, which are also going to be in the description, about how the game can just be more balanced. And we were all in agreement that we believe that nukes or barrels should be a part of the finals, as it's shown in majority of the game's trailers. And we also all agreed on the point that it should take away like 3/4 of your HP. Now that was us just brainstorming, but after this update rolled out, it's definitely much closer to what we were talking about, as opposed to the overpowered barrel crutch. And I can't tell you how great this is for the finals competitive scene. Previously, any squads that were running one heavy at least, you were almost guaranteed a barrel to your face. Now, with the additional gravity and weight to the barrels and the unpredictable paths that they have, they are definitely not as common as they were before. And when I do get barreled and I die, it's A, because I'm either already low, or B, because there was another barrel or an explosive device around me that caused additional damage. So in my opinion, have we found the perfect spot for the barrels? I personally think it's pretty damn good. Obviously, you can't be perfect, but I think it's damn near perfect. Guys, please let me know your opinions on this update and what you think about nukes in general in the comment section down below. As this video premieres, I'm going to be live on my Twitch, twitch.tv/itsfjc. Go ahead and check it out. The first link in the description. I'm live practically 7 days a week playing the finals ranked, or playing with viewers, or any other games that I'm in the mood for. So if you guys are looking to vibe out with me live, go ahead and check out the Twitch. We don't bite. As always, guys, thank you so much for all the support and love over here on my YouTube and my Twitch channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Much love.